Morning, Frontline Motor Pool. Today's briefing is I am going to attempt to make a cork gasket for my fuel strainer. So recently I posted a video on starting my engine really for the first time, and I failed to have a gasket installed in the lid of the fuel strainer. So as soon as the fuel oil pressure came up online, it basically, like a squirt gun, squirted oil all around the shop. So I ended up having to push everything out of the shop and get out the cat litter and soapy water and wash everything down and clean the floor in the shop, which turned out to be an all-day affair. But so lesson learned. I thought I had double-checked everything, and evidently I didn't. Now, I rebuilt that fuel strainer over a year ago, and I was sitting over on the shelf. So it's one of those things that you really need to have a checklist of items to go through and mark off to make sure you don't miss stuff, especially when you're doing a frame and body off restoration. And that's what mine is, 42 Willys MB complete restoration. So today I'm going to show you some things I picked up. I basically went to Hobby Lobby and I got some cork squares, and I bought a new X-Acto knife set, so I spent about 30 bucks. But I did that because, number one, my X-Acto knives are all pretty trashed, and I needed a new set anyway. And I wanted to see how good that cork was that they sell, you know, because I've been intending to make some of my own gaskets anyway. So that's one of the big things I'm going to do today, make cork gaskets for my oil strainer. And I'm going to show you how I do that. There's a lot of different ways to do stuff. I'm just going to show you the way I do it. And if it helps you, great, and use it. If it doesn't, then that's okay too. Feel free to add comments to the post. The other thing I want to point out is my wife, I thank her for really supporting my hobby of restoring military vehicles. Now, recently I found a Gaz 67, I think it was, the Russian Jeep, and she said I could not buy it. I had enough military vehicles in the yard already, so which is probably true. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Jeeps, 2 Jeep trailers, extra frames. I got my WC-21. So that's probably too much, okay? So I'm actually selling off a couple of those, or I have already sold off a couple of those Jeeps to David out of the Netherlands, and he's got some people that's going to restore those. But one thing I want to point out is she's been very good to support my hobby, and one thing she does is she makes t-shirts and coffee cups. So if you guys are interested in a Frontline Motor Pool coffee mug, then email her. That's her email, angie.wilcoxon@yahoo.com. This is a couple things that she's making for some of the folks here. She's got an extensive list of vehicle graphics. This is just our basic Jeep Frontline Motor Pool. This is for Peter DeBella, I believe. Oh, it's actually for someone else because he only wears a large, and this is a 3XL. So whoever you were talking to Angie and you wear 3XL, that's your shirt. This is looks like she did the Chevy Deuce and a Half. I can't remember the name off the top of my G506 maybe. So whoever you are, there's one of your shirts. She's done CCKWs, M38s, a bunch of stuff. Anyway, she's got an extensive list of the World War II and some of the post-war vehicle graphics. If you're interested, contact her. Don't contact me. This is her thing. Angie.wilcoxon@yahoo.com. I'll leave that up in the next few videos I make so that you guys have the link if you need it. And actually what I'll do is I'll post it up at the end of this video, and that way you guys can get it if you need it. Okay, well, stay tuned. All right, Frontline, so this is my setup. I'm gonna make a gasket for the bottom of the lid for my oil strainer. As you can see, it is missing. So anyway, I'm gonna make a gasket. Went by Hobby Lobby, picked up some of these cork squares for $11.99. I picked up a little X-Acto knife set to replace my aging, broken old set that I have. I spent about 30 bucks for all these materials, and I'm gonna just make a gasket. And you can do this for quite a few of the gaskets on the early Willies and Slats because a lot of them were cork. So I'm just gonna show you, I've been kind of curious on how good this cork material is from the hobby store, so we'll see. It seems pretty flexible. I don't see it cracking, so we're gonna give it a try. So the first thing I'm gonna do is just mark the outside. Now when I trim this, it's gotta fit inside this lip, and I know that, so we're just gonna mark the outside here and trim it a little smaller. Nice pair of leather shears. These work great for trimming just about anything. Almost. So the originals, as far as I know, the tooling, they were done with a metal stamp and a press. They would have a round blade, and it would just press down and just cut. But you know, they were making 10,000 of them. You know, I'm making one. So this scissor is going to be my metal press. Trim right there, and I think we are in business. Okay, so here, if you look around the edge, there's these little notches, and I am going to notch the gasket slightly so that it fits a little better in here and doesn't spin. I guess we could do it with, I could just do it with the scissors, but I actually am going to use a metal punch, a leather hole punch out of my leather kit, because it's going to make a nice, so you get these little leather hole punches. You can get these, just a couple standard ones from pretty much any of the hobby stores, Hobby Lobby, Joann's. Really need to be on a piece of wood to do these. You see, I'm basically just punching out little circles. So it'll fit in here a little better. Perfect. So now I need to mark the center and cut it out. So all on the canister, the oil strainer canister, it's just a metal rim. So I'm going to make this a little wider than I need. That's probably not wide enough. Good use for an old Cochrane Brown reflector. think that's gonna work.
There it is. Not rocket surgery. Out.
All right, Frontline. So today was a productive day. I did make the strainer gasket. It was pretty easy. So I showed you kind of how to do it, what tools I used to do it. So success. I made a cork gasket for my oil strainer. I've installed it, so really now I'm ready to put on the radiator and crank it back up. Just a reminder, I'll post the email address for Angie for the t-shirts and mugs. Right now the mugs are pretty standard. Later on, you know, it's going to be just like this. And then later on, she is talking about doing different vehicles. But right now, she's doing t-shirts and some simple mugs. But if you guys are interested, get a hold of her. Don't get a hold of me. That's not my thing. That's her thing. And I hope this tip helped you. Have a great day.